Look at this guy. You've probably seen him by now. Harold Daggett. That's the face of 901 Grand. Let's call him Mr. 901G. 901G, he's the International Longshoremen's Association. And he's riling up the crowd because his guys aren't getting paid enough. And by the way, a third of them make 200 grand or more a year. The rest of them looks like salaries start at 80 grand or something. It depends on where you read. But they typically make a whole lot more just with overtime and whatever they're doing. But they're saying the hours are terrible, grueling, and yet they still make that kind of money. And they still want a 77% pay increase over the next 6 years. Are you going to get a 77% pay increase over the next 6 years? Do you make 200 grand or more a year? Maybe. Some of you do. But most people don't. And the problem is what Harold's doing, what his guys are doing, those people, the consumer, are paying for them to throw a fit. Everything trickles down. The shipping companies want more money to ship their stuff. The longshoremen want more money to unload that stuff. And then the consumer is going to pay for it all because it's going to come down to you to pay for it. It's going to cost more for it to be delivered to your store or wherever you're buying it. And Harold's willing to throw a fit. He's willing to stop the economy. He's willing to stop the flow of consumer products, the flow of the economy. So you can see him pitch his fit. And the problem is it's all cyclical. It's going to happen. In 6 years, when their contract expires, he's going to want more money because the shipping companies will be making more money, and then you will be paying for more. Remember when you could buy stuff for a quarter? You can't even buy stuff for a quarter anymore. That was a long time ago. A quarter is worthless now. $1 is worthless. You can't buy shit for $1. So all of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Harold doesn't like the fact that the industries or the powers that be are trying to force automation on him. Well, the problem, it's not even a problem. The reality is the rest of the world, the ports are already automated. The port of Shanghai, the port of Rotterdam, the port of Hamburg, all these big ports, they're already automated. They're already there. We're in the horse and buggy age. And Harold, he's just trying to protect his guys. Why? Because those guys pay for his paycheck. That's all what it comes down to, money. So of course he's going to rile up the crowd because his 901 grand a year is at stake. Mr. 901G. The guy owes an apology to the American people, the rest of this country, for throwing them under the bus. He's the guy in the drive-thru. He got the wrong drink. Maybe he got the wrong amount of fries. Maybe he didn't get his fry sauce. Maybe he was served by the wrong barista. He's willing to hold up the rest of the line while he lets not just the people in the store, but the people behind him know that he's upset. He's the guy on the way to work in traffic. You know, traffic slowed down and the bird shit on the window or on the hood of his car. So he got out and he threw a fit. And he's willing to stop the rest of the flow of traffic just so you know that he threw a fit. I'm sure other people have lost jobs to automation. Do we know about those people? Did those people throw a fit? No. Maybe they did. Maybe they got a different job by now. But the fact is, automation is coming. And the sooner people realize it, the sooner it will actually benefit them. Because then the cost of things, in theory, shouldn't continue to rise as dramatically. Because you're not paying for people to unload it. You've got machines doing it. And a machine is going to do it at night. It's going to do it when most people are tired. It's going to do it when most people would call in sick. So it's in the benefit of the consumer, benefit for the consumer, that these things do happen, that automation does happen. So how do you do that? That's going to be tricky because this country is so entwined with these unions. And by the way, I think unions are pathetic in general. Because all they do is they pay for the people who run the unions. At what point do they actually help the union worker? They just help the people running the union. They don't really help the worker that I can see. Maybe you want to comment and say, oh yeah, the union helped me this and that. I think at one point the unions were helpful, but that's long gone. Now it's just about helping Mr. 901G continue his paycheck. So of course he's going to throw a fit. But it's for the benefit of the consumer that things get automated like this, because maybe eventually down the road we don't have these people throwing fits again and willing to let's just say this thing kept going for another week or more. All the food that's in those containers, it's going to spoil. It's not going to stay. I mean, yeah, you sure probably have some things that are refrigerated, but the fact is, it slows everything down. So how do you go around that? Maybe build a parallel port, but I'm sure these guys would sue. If you built a port across the river, wherever these guys are at, just as a test, and it's all automated, these guys would sue, because all of a sudden the shipping companies are now coming to the other port. International Longshoremen's Association. Is that even international? I don't know. I need to look it up. I just saw that. International Longshoremen. And if you build a parallel port that's all automated, I'm pretty sure all the ships would start coming there, or more of them would. But yeah, that's what it boils down to. This guy owes an apology to the American people, to the public, for throwing his fit. Families support ILA workers. Yeah, these guys are saying that their jobs are on the line. The fact is, they position themselves in a position where their job would be at stake. They should be thankful they made what they've made so far, but nothing is guaranteed. And that's what they don't like. They don't like the fact that their jobs are being threatened. That just goes to show you that they're not being very creative. They're banking on some old idea, on some old way of life to continue keeping them moving forward. And the fact is, the world is changing so fast. And the sooner people realize that, the sooner they can, learn from that and actually maybe potentially benefit from that. But these guys, they're like, no, we need to be in charge. We're better than machines. I don't like the fact that a machine can do X, Y, and Z. And I'm willing to jack up the prices of all the goods for the American people just so they know that I'm throwing a fit. They owe an apology to the American public for doing this to them. And the sooner, maybe somebody can come around and, that's a problem. The sooner somebody comes up with a solution to this, because caving into their demands is not the solution. It's cyclical. Every few years, prices will go up again, prices are always going up, but every few years they will throw their fit. It will be predictable. And so the solution is to remove their positions. It sounds terrible, but Harold can get a different job. Actually, by then, he'll probably be retired. So maybe that's what he's just doing right now. He just wants to rake it in high while he can, and then in a few years, he'll retire and then do something just as, whatever he's doing now, he's not really contributing anything except riling up the crowd. And so the sooner we get with it, get back into keeping up with the rest of the world where everything is automated, the sooner the consumer will actually benefit. Until then, we're going to be, these guys are going to hold the country by the balls and twist at the balls as long as they want to, because, the ships can come there, but if you can't unload it, the rest of the country is going to suffer. And these guys are willing to do that. They're willing to throw you under the bus, put you through the ringer, while they ask for more pay. And so it's predictable and it's pathetic.